In week 1, the focus was on globalization and how it affects business strategy of companies across the world. Building on what was discussed in week 1, we're going to learn more about how companies undertake implementing a global strategy, which is where global finance comes into play. Let's have a brief overview of international trade and foreign direct investment. International trade theory is a culmination of many trade theories from Smith, Ricardo, Heckscher, and Olin that explain the advantage and disadvantages of international trade. Common sense would suggest that some international trade is beneficial for parties. For example, Iceland produces fish, and plenty of fish. However, they do not produce any citrus fruits, which are vital to one's health. So Iceland can benefit by trading fish for oranges with another country that is unable to produce fish. During this chapter's readings, you will be introduced to some of the more important international trade theories that are divided into 2 classifications: classical, country-based theories, or modern, firm-based theories. Some of these theories call for unrestricted trade, known as free trade. Others call for government intervention to promote exports through subsidies and to limit imports through tariffs and quotas. One of the key takeaways is to remember that no one trade theory can explain the pattern of international trade. All the trade theories taken together suggest which factors are important. As you will learn, 2 of the factors that impact international trade the most are political and legal. Over the last several years, international trade has been rocked by all types of political influences. The U.S. has had an ongoing trade dispute with China, with both sides threatening and taking punitive actions in different forms. Additionally, trade sanctions on various countries have been implemented for a variety of reasons. For example, North Korea and Iran, due to the view they support terroristic activities around the world, have trade bans implemented by the United Nations and the U.S. All this causes companies who want to grow internationally have to rethink their global expansion and growth strategies. One of the most difficult aspects of expanding globally is differences in political systems. Doing business in the U.S. or the U.K. is very different than doing business in a place like Venezuela, which claims it has a democracy. However, it is really a dictatorship posing as a democracy. This chapter provides a list of questions to ponder when assessing the political risk and stability of a country. Based on my 3 decades of global business experience, this is a good list to review. Legal system is another key factor to consider. For example, a number of Middle Eastern countries follow Sharia law, which is Islamic. Did you know it is illegal to charge interest under Sharia law before reading the chapter? So what do you do if you were in charge of global expansion for MasterCard or Visa and wanted to go into the Middle East? One thing is clear: governments do intervene in international trade. They do so for a number of reasons, some political, which have no economic significance. The political landscape and legal landscape does impact the way foreign companies look to invest into those countries. Foreign direct investment occurs when a company directly invests in facilities to produce or market a good or service in a foreign country. The U.S. Department of Commerce considers a company to be a multinational enterprise when it takes a 10% or greater interest in a foreign business entity. Foreign direct investments take 2 main forms: a greenfield investment or an acquisition. Greenfield investment involves the establishment of a new operation in a foreign country. This can take place when a parent company starts a new venture by building new production facilities from the ground up. This is a very comprehensive undertaking requiring a tremendous amount of coordination. On the other hand, an acquisition is less complex to a degree, as the infrastructure is already in place as the foreign company acquires an existing firm. While an acquisition can be accomplished quicker than a greenfield opportunity to execute, they often do not live up to the advantages envisioned in the business plan. Research has shown the failure rate of acquisitions to be between 50 to 80%. Whether the foreign direct investment is done through a greenfield or acquisition, many considerations go into making the decision to expand internationally. One of the key considerations is how does a foreign government encourage or discourage foreign direct investment? One thing to analyze is the history of foreign direct investment. Have they nationalized prior investments? Have they placed restrictions on dividends? For example, early in my career, I was involved in a greenfield opportunity in Argentina. For 18 months, we conducted extensive research into how the Argentine government treated foreign investments. The country had a history of nationalizing companies they deemed important for national security reasons, like telecommunications. However, they were coming off of years of economic turmoil and were looking to attract foreign investment. One of the measures was the privatization of state-owned industries. This was an encouraging sign and indicated to us the investment would not be as risky as first thought. A $30 million foreign direct investment was made in the Argentina greenfield opportunity.